Today I'm going to show you a crazy game. It was a beautiful game with a brilliant move and high accuracy. Computer really liked some of the sacrifices that I made. But the thing that makes this game stand out is not just the chess component, but the condition in which it was played. I was on LSD while playing this chess game. I do not advocate and recommend anyone take this substance, especially if it's illegal. I will not say where I took it. It was a secure, undisclosed location, let's say, to avoid any legal complications. Obviously, if you ever take LSD, you should read a lot of stuff before doing that. You should follow all the precautions. You should have a sitter. And not everybody should do it, definitely. It's not for everyone. It's quite dangerous, so be mindful if you ever think about doing anything like that. But I sometimes engage in such psychonautic experiences to experiment with my various states of consciousness. I find it, for me, having some therapeutical effect. And today I decided to play chess. Well, not today. It was some days ago. I decided to play chess on Lsd. I love chess, and I've never seen someone do that. I thought, why not try? It was not during the peak of my trip. I took around 200 micrograms of LSD, which is quite a powerful dosage. It was an intense trip. It was not easy, but once it started wearing off a little bit, so after, I think, 4 hours of taking the substance, I decided, okay, the worst part is over, the hardest part is over. I can look at the chessboard and see the chessboard and not just some visual hallucinations, although it was a little bit blurry sometimes and the squares were mixed up sometimes, but I thought I could do it. And I managed to do it. I managed to play a great game. So I will show it to you. My opponent was my friend, a famous young theatrical director from Russia called Alexander Farsight. He does not take LSD. He doesn't ever do this, but he's a practicing psychotherapist, certified, and I asked him to be my trip sitter in this trip. He helped me, like, sometimes I asked him to bring me tea while I was tripping. Sometimes I asked him for his kind words of encouragement when I was feeling down, and he did great. And he also agreed to play a chess game with me. He was sober, I was not. So let's get to the game. I will explain the moves, the combinations, the sacrifices. Alexander is an amateur player, while I'm a candidate master, but I thought that I gave him odds by taking 200 micrograms of LSD, so I thought this counts as given odds, and also he's quite a strong amateur player. So on various online platforms, he plays I think 1,500 rated opponents on equal terms, so he's quite good. So let's see the game. I played e4, he played e5, and I played the King's Gambit, my favorite opening. It's not approved by the computer. The computer immediately screams that black is better, minus 0.48, so half a pawn advantage for black after the second move. But this is fun. I like fun chess. I like attacking. I like sacrificing. I like the romantic era of chess where the masters of the past, of the 18th century, for example, they sacrifice pieces left and right. This is the way I like playing chess, especially casual chess. But I also play the King's Gambit in tournaments, in serious classical events with varying results. So here I play the King's Gambit. He, being a brave man, decided to play on his terms. The best and objectively move is to take this pawn. This is the King's Gambit accepted. But this is the also a powerful way to refute the gambit, counter gambit, the Falk Bear counter gambit. So black says, no, I will not take this pawn, you take my pawns. This pawn is not good to take because there will be a check, and then queen takes this pawn, and black is already winning, so this is not a good pawn to take. The best move here for white is to take the other pawn, and here black has various ways to reply. He has this move, which is good. He has this move, which is the old continuation, old theory. And also he has another counter gambit, which my friend Alexander executed in this game, c6. So he invites me to take another pawn, which is not the best move for me, because in this way I would help him develop. And even though I'm up a pawn, so I decided to give him a pawn in the opening, and he gave me two. So now I'm up a pawn, but my development is lagging. My king is still on his initial square. This diagonal is weakened. I will have problems castling, developing. So this is not the pawn that I want to take. And I tell him, okay, I will just develop, knight e2. This is a move that I've seen Jan Nepomniachtchi play. By the way, check out my game with Jan Nepomniachtchi. I played the King's Gambit against Jan, the greatest practitioner of this gambit in the modern times. And this is the move that he plays in this variation. He recommends it in his course on the King's Gambit on Chessable. So this looks weird, but the idea is that if black takes, which Alexander did, I take with a knight. And it's an equal position, more or less, but very complicated with lots of interesting opportunities for both sides. So here, black could have taken, and this is maybe the best move, or one of the best moves. But he decided to insist, Alexander decided to insist that I take his pawn, so he likes also gambiting and attacking. He is not afraid of me, and he knows that I'm tripping on LSD, and I'm like, whoa, this is challenging. I was thinking for a long time on every move because I wanted not to blunder anything because of some hallucinations. So, okay, I went d4, attacked his bishop, he went back. And here I developed my bishop to c4. I do not, again, take his pawn because, yeah, I could have taken, but I would have helped him develop, and I don't get developed, and I don't like it. I develop myself. Bishop c4. Up until that point, we play logical moves. The position is pretty much equal, a little bit better for white because I'm better developed. He goes knight f6, also develops, again inviting me to take his pawn, but I'm not taking, I'm castling, which is not the best move. The computer says that the best move here is to check him and to exchange the queens, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted, this is my first and maybe the only ever game of chess played on LSD, and I wanted to make it crazy, to make it exciting, to attack, to complicate things. So I decided to castle, not exchange the queens. He also castles, doing everything right. Here I develop my knight, again not taking, not helping him develop. I'm telling him you take. And here I have already three defenders of this pawn, so I'm not just giving it back. He doesn't want to take. He develops his rook, which would have been a good move. Had this rook not been serving an important function, defending this square, which will turn out important later. But it's not a huge mistake. Here, the best move, I didn't find it, but the best move would have been knight h5. Very unusual square for the knight. The computer says that, yeah, black can take this pawn, and if I take, he takes this knight. But still, my attack rages on, so this is an interesting maneuver. I didn't see it, frankly. I decided to develop. I decided to go queen d3, prevent him from activating his bishop from that square. And it's also a logical move, developing, maybe later on going here, activating pieces, attacking, and trying to instigate. Here, he decided, okay, I'll go g6. He really wants to put his bishop here and attack my queen. But you shouldn't really move pawns in front of your king when it's attacked in the King's Gambit. This was not the best move, even though it's not a mistake, but it was not the best move. And I tried to immediately do something about it, and I sacrifice my knight. Knight takes g6. I was proud of this move. The computer also approves. It's not the only way to proceed in this position, but it's good enough. So this sacrifice pays off. Once he takes, whichever pawn he takes, I will go bishop g5, pinning this knight and attacking it 2 times with my rook and the knight. I calculated some variations in my head, riddled with some patterns, fractals. Because of LSD, it was very, very difficult, but I calculated and I thought, okay, I should do it. And it was the correct decision. The best way, move for him would be this. But still, I go here and I have a great position. It would be similar to what happened in the game, so I won't spoil it for you. He took with a different pawn. F, he thought probably that he needs to defend this knight with the rook. So I pin him, and he tries to intercept the attack by my rook on the knight, and also to attack my queen, which is the best move in this position objectively. But he didn't think that I will sacrifice the rook in this position, which is a brilliant move, according to chess.com's engine. It's the best move. I don't have the luxury of retreating here. I could have, of course, retreated and continued my attack, but so I'm sacrificing the rook for a knight and a pawn, and here I'm not taking because otherwise this pawn would be vulnerable and that's not good, but I'm giving him a discovered check. So this is why taking with f-pawn was not good. Now he has to move his king. He goes here. And here I could have taken this pawn and exchanged and got into a better ending. He goes here, I take. I was calculating all this. And I thought, yeah, I'm probably winning or close to winning because I have an extra 2 pawns. 2 extra pawns, the position is good, but it's boring. I want to attack. This is my only game on LSD, maybe ever, or at least this is the first game played by a chess influencer on LSD. I have not found any other example. So I feel responsibility. I feel that I need to do something interesting, something crazy. And I went knight d5, which turned out to be the best move according to the computer. So I put more pressure on this knight. And I don't take this rook because I think I can take his queen. And this is the correct approach. So he does the right thing. He plays the best computer move, which is knight takes c6, and he gives up his queen here. So he takes and I take. He decides that, okay, I will give back some material because my opponent sacrificed already a knight and a rook, which is true. So he gives up a queen for a piece. And here, again, he finds the best move in the position. Most people automatically would just take with the king, which is not as good as what he did. He found an in-between move, Zwischenzug in German, they say it. So it's a check, taking a pawn with check, and only after this, taking the knight. So he took also a pawn, and now I'm up material, but not too much. I have a queen for a rook and a knight, and I also have 1 extra pawn. So material-wise, I'm better, but the position is still messy, complicated, opposite bishops. Mine is very dangerous, but his could also become dangerous. Let's see what happens. I activate my rook. He jumps in with the knight, trying to prevent my infiltration, but here I find the move c3, which doesn't give him any choice but to move back. He was contemplating, like cheekily jumping in with his knight to this square, he told me, but it's not good enough. I will go check, for example, and after that, this knight will become prey to my bishop. So yeah, he has to retreat. And here, objectively, probably the best move would have been to take the pawn, but I was afraid of various attacks on this file. I didn't want to allow any counterplay, which is important not to allow once you have a better position, especially if you are on a-sit. So I decided that I will need to check him. And here was the only serious mistake that he made in the game. He played a brilliant game for his level. So he made lots of great moves. He found lots of powerful moves. But here he didn't see it coming. He went king f8 and missed the fact that I can check him with queen g8 check. And here he resigned because the only legal move for him is king e7, and I have queen e7 checkmate because this rook cuts off this line for the king, and all the other squares are defended by my queen and my bishop. So I won in 22 moves. Fascinating game, classical King's Gambit type of game where you sacrifice. I sacrificed a knight, I sacrificed a rook, then he sacrificed his queen back for a minor piece. This was fun. This was really fun. By the end of this game, I started feeling better already, but the LSD was quite potent. So the trip lasted like 5 or maybe even 7 more hours. We had some deep psychological discussions about life, about some personal problems that I faced in my life. It was good for me. I really liked the fact that we did it, that I did it, and Alexander was my sitter. And I really like the fact that I played such a beautiful game of chess. It's not too modest to say such things, but I cannot argue with this. The chess speaks for itself, as one player once said. Do drop a comment if you liked this type of content, and take care. If you do LSD ever, please don't do it absent-mindedly without analyzing, reading about this. I first took LSD after spending dozens of hours reading on it, because it's a very potent and dangerous substance, so you should not treat it lightly. See you in the next videos. Bye-bye.